And we are live, sir. So, welcome back to Faces of First Atlanta. Today's Monday, and we got Mr. Eric Benjamin here. Welcome,
Howdy.
sir.
Thank
And like I said, we are excited to hear your story and find out what we can learn from you. So,
Okay.
let's start with that. Who's Eric?
Let's see. I was born in Northern California, moved to Atlanta when I was 17 from our senior year of high school, and have never looked back. Got into real estate as a developer up in the North Georgia mountains back in 98, 99. And then 9/11 happened, and that killed that. So I decided to get my license in 2002, and I've been doing it full-time ever since.
So, you're a developer in the North Georgia mountains. Are we building mountain homes? Or?
Second homes or retirement homes.
Okay, fun. So, sounds like you're native.
I feel native now.
Yeah, okay.
I've been here since I was 17.
Yeah,
So,
awesome. So, grew up.
in way rural Northern California, and in the mountains, and beautiful country, and went fly fishing almost every day.
Okay, a little trout. Is the trout in North Georgia and the trout in Northern California a little different?
Completely different.
Okay,
Still fun.
all right. So you're growing up in the mountains. So then you moved to Atlanta at 17 years old,
Yes,
which I can only imagine would be a tough move.
it was an excellent move. It was the best thing I ever did.
Okay, tell me about that. I would think some 17-year-olds might be like, I don't want to use the word hate. I really despise my parents for moving me in the middle of a.
No, my father and stepmother lived in Helen, Georgia, so I've been coming to Georgia every summer to visit them since I was 6 years old. So I was very familiar with Atlanta,
Okay,
and I was going to a boarding school, so that made it easy instantly to meet friends.
perfect.
And I was leaving a very small town and coming to a big city, and I wanted to be in a big city.
So Helen, Georgia's a big city. Huh?
Well, Atlanta,
I'm
boarding
kidding,
school
I'm
in
kidding.
Atlanta
We are.
is wonderful.
All right. So when you moved to North Georgia, what was your dream?
To go to University of Georgia and have fun,
Okay.
and I did.
So what did you go to school for?
Fashion merchandising.
Okay, that feels like that's pulled right out of air. I mean,
My father was in the apparel business, and I got in the apparel business
Okay.
after college.
okay. So saw your dad do it, follow that dream. You go off to University of Georgia.
Yep.
All right. So you're a Bulldog.
Go Dogs.
All right. So then, does it change over the course of your time there? Or?
I mean, it changed. The industry changed, and really NAFTA killed us. We're manufacturing domestically.
Yep.
And 96, we did 10 million in sales, and by 2000, we were doing 1 million in sales.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it just dropped out. So you were, by way of recession, forced to change, right?
Yeah, well, just trade
Yeah.
issues.
Okay.
Because we were paying our sewers, $7 to $10 an hour plus benefits. They were getting in, for $1 a day in Mexico or 50 cents a day in Honduras.
Oh, wow. Okay. So what do you evolve to next?
Then I became a developer, and that was fun. I had a good business partner, and we did one subdivision that sold like crazy. Got a little ambitious and bought 160 acres on the Chattahoochee River above Lake Lanier, and developed about half of it, and sold off a bunch of lots, did 2 spec homes, and then 9/11 happened.
Okay. So then what?
So then my wife was, we were expecting our first child, and she said, no more developing, you need something a little more stable.
Okay.
So I got
So
became a
then you
realtor.
get a real job, the real job conversation.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So you became a realtor.
So I became a realtor.
Okay. Well, that's not a real job in a lot of people's eyes, but it is a real job.
It's a real
job.
hard job.
Yeah. So you dive into realtor. So it's interesting perspective here. You're a developer and you see being a real estate agent as more stable, where a lot of people think, oh God, I got to go work at a 9-to-5 W-2 job to find my stability. But what did you learn through that transition?
Well, I'd always been in sales of some sort, and so it was just a natural transition to go from selling clothes to selling houses.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I got my first sales job selling newspapers and delivering newspapers when I was 10 years old. I was also
Okay.
working in a sewing factory when I was 10 years old.
Okay.
So
Work ethic early on in life.
yeah, I always worked. I was managing a movie theater when I was 15 years old. I mean, I've always worked.
Okay. So you get into real estate. Was it gangbusters from day one?
No,
Okay.
No, it was tough because I had no idea what I was doing. And I started with a broker who had no training at all. And so I just kind of had to stumble through. And then I discovered Keller Williams after 6 months of stumbling. And suddenly I had real training and real support. And then it started taking off.
Okay. So are you still in North Georgia mountains, or did you move closer to the city?
I've stayed. I would visit in the North Georgia mountains, but I've always lived in Metro
Always,
Atlanta.
okay.
Or Athens when I was in school.
Awesome. So you find Keller Williams 6 months into this. You do what they say and tell you to do, right?
Yes, we had great training back then, like we do now, and I just went to every single class I could go to.
Okay. So first year in the business, how'd it go?
I actually did 40,000 in referral fees only, and then I did about another 25 in commission.
How'd you do 40,000 in referral fees?
Because I've got friends all over the country, and I reached out to them and said, "Hey, did you know I offer a national agent interview service?" And so I had friends that just reach out. And you have a friend in Seattle needed a realtor, hooked him up. A friend in Boston needed a realtor, hooked him up. I just did that, and reached out to friends all over. And
okay.
So, and I still get a good chunk of money from referral fees.
Really? So you're just prospecting your database outside of Atlanta and saying what? What's the script?
What can I do to help you? Do you need a realtor? I'll interview them for you. I know how to interview them because I am one.
Okay, so you're just offering the consultant basically role. Okay, and then I'm going to dive into this for a minute. The referral platform on Command. Have you played with it much?
I played with it a little bit, but my referrals tend to come via friends, not from other agents.
Right.
So I'm just making that a more personal touch, where it's a phone call or a text message or something like that, or just staying in touch via Facebook, emails, whatever it is, whatever the preferred method of communication is.
Yeah. So I got to imagine the first year in the business, 40 grand off referral fees. That's kind of unheard of.
Yeah, I mean, I just was determined because I had pipeline, but I didn't have sales.
Right.
So I was like, okay.
So it was an avenue to make money.
Yeah. And a quick, because these were motivated people ready to buy or sell.
Right. That's smart. I've never heard that before. I mean, I've heard people doing referrals, but making it a business day one in real estate, I think it's really smart. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, so you're in the business. How long have you been in now? How many years?
It's total of 18 years.
18 years. Ups, downs.
I mean, the Great Recession was interesting.
Yeah.
I hope I never have to do another short sale again, but I did a lot of them, and then I worked with some real bottom feeder investors.
Yep.
And that was just what you did.
Yeah, I think you find the opportunity of the moment, right?
Yes, absolutely. The market is the market. Whatever the market is, that's what you need to be focusing on.
Yeah, so it's interesting. You got in right after 9/11, right?
Correct.
So what was the real estate market at that time?
It was not much happening. I mean, it was everyone was scared and still waiting to see if we're going to have another attack. The economy was in shambles. The stock market was in shambles, but still life was happening.
So you found your way to find success then, right?
Yep. I mean, it was just bound and determined. And I kind of joke when I meet new agents that you're going to be working 80 hours a week plus for the first year, and you need to learn 1,000 things.
Yeah.
After that first year of 80 hours plus and 1,000 things, it gets easy.
One time a really smart guy told me, he said, if you find where money is exchanging hands and go put yourself right in the middle of it, you'll find your success, right?
Correct.
And that's what I'm listening in your story here is you found yourself as a real estate consultant to people from a referral perspective early on in your career, and you found that opportunity, right? And then you get into real estate right after 9/11, you go find the opportunity of that moment.
Sure.
Now, fast forward 8-10 years, we're in the recession, right?
Yes.
And you found your opportunity in short sales and, as you called it, bottom feeder investors.
I mean, I had one investor that he would write up to 10 offers a day.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, and we just cranked them out, but we occasionally one would stick and he'd close.
Yeah. So the pandemic hit this year.
Yeah.
What did you find yourself as the opportunity of this year?
Still working my database.
Okay.
I mean, that's key. And also the thing with sales, it's not the initial contact, it's the follow-up.
Okay, tell me more.
Okay. Stay in touch, stay in touch, stay in touch. If they don't buy tomorrow, they might buy next year.
Okay. So money's made in the follow-up. I've heard that before.
Yes,
somewhere.
it is, and that's key to any sales.
Okay.
I mean, that's when I was in the apparel business. It's the only way you could really make money.
Yeah.
Because you had to be top of mind, and if you had a good product, of course, and you were honest with your customer, and now being honest with your clients and telling them what they need to hear, not what they want to hear.
Yeah. So what does follow up look like? Like, paint me a picture. What now?
Depends on the person. I always reach out and ask people, like my friend Katie, she's going to be selling when her daughter graduates high school. Her daughter just started her junior year. And I just saw that on Facebook. So I'm like, okay, we got 2 more years. And I will just shoot her a text or an email every now and then and just check in. And then I see her on Facebook. And it's just, being top of mind.
Yeah. How do you keep it organized?
It's all up here.
Okay.
It's bizarre. People ask what my database is. It's all in my brain and my cell phone.
Yeah.
I will literally scroll through contacts and go, oh, I haven't talked to them in a while, and just call them.
Pick up the phone.
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
That's it. There's no sales. There's no like you need to buy or sell a house. It's just, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
How's your life?
So you just keep it top of mind by scrolling through or whoever you see on Facebook, and I think the lesson there is you don't put it on a to-do list to do tomorrow. You call right then.
Yeah. I mean, all I'm doing is saying hello.
Yeah.
They know what I do.
I call that the Adele script.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah. Or Lionel Richie, I guess some people call it that.
Yeah. I mean, it's just that follow-up and being top of mind.
Okay. So best year in real estate?
Last year was my best year.
Okay. What do you attribute it to?
Just the pipeline. Really, the pipeline just was full, and people were popping out, and people popped out that I've been networking with or working for years, and just somebody said, "Ready for that big change?" Yeah. So just it all came together. 18 years into the business, you're still getting better. But part of it is I also have 2 teenagers,
Okay.
so I have a good counterbalance, as Gary Keller puts it, where when I'm with my kids, I'm with my kids, and when I'm with my wife, I'm with my wife. And
right.
That's that. And I make that a high priority to have that time with them versus work time, and it's dedicated to both, but family first.
Okay, so I respect that highly, and somebody watching this might think, how on earth are you having your best year ever and being counterbalanced in life where you actually are dedicating your time to the loved ones in your life and dedicating your time to business?
Well, you have to explain to the clients, here's when you can reach me, here's how you can reach me, and here's when you can't.
Yeah.
And you just have to lay the ground rules right up front.
Set expectations.
Absolutely. And my script is you can text me. That's the fastest way to get me. I will not respond while driving, just so you know. If you call me before 7 p.m., I will return the call the same day. I check my email 4 times a day.
Okay.
And just leave it at that. There's the.
So you're setting expectations.
Absolutely. With every client, it's the same script.
I'm guessing you didn't learn that early on in your career. You learned that later in your career. Right?
It took me about 2 years of realizing, you should not jump, when somebody says jump.
Yeah.
And it's also managing certain people. Some people have a high, they need something right now. I've got a client right now. She is ready. She knows exactly what she wants to buy. She's ready to buy it. We're writing an offer this afternoon. It just came on the market, and she just got her house under contract.
Right.
So it's, that's a high priority. But somebody who's looking to buy an investment property, or I've got a friend selling her condo, sometime before the end of the year for tax reasons, because it's an investment property, I just stay in touch with her. If she wants to list it September, October, that's fine, whatever.
Yeah. It's pipeline.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's touching all of them consistently.
Right. But setting the expectation, right?
Yes.
Okay. Having kids, so if you got teenagers, I'm guessing they were born sometime after you got into the real estate business.
One year before, 3 years after, or 2 years after.
Yeah.
So 16-year-old, 18-year-old.
You went through different phases of their growing up while a real estate agent, right?
And while my wife decided to be a stay-at-home mom, and then decided to get her master's in teaching, and become a full-time school teacher.
Oh, wow. Through all that.
Yep. And we balanced it down. When she was getting her master's, we had it balanced down to 5-minute increments.
Wow. Tell me a little more.
Well, I mean, kids in elementary school, middle school, and I had to escort one to the bus stop and drive one to school, or just all those things that had to be done because she had to be in class. And then she would say, okay, on Tuesday, I get out of class at 2, I can pick the kids up. But you need to pick them up Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Okay, put it in my calendar.
Yeah.
If it's in my calendar, it stays in my calendar.
Yeah. So it sounds like you are disciplined to your calendar.
Extremely. If once it hits my calendar, it stays there.
So I would say that's a success principle, but how do you understand that to be your success principle?
Because it's a commitment to myself and others.
Okay.
So
Can you elaborate a little bit?
sure. If I tell you I'm going to be somewhere at noon, in my heart, I have to be there at noon or at least 5 minutes early
Okay.
because that's my commitment.
And by the way, he was here right at noon.
Exactly. And that's because I had a phone call 11:56. I said I've got a noon appointment.
Yeah.
So it was a 3-minute phone call and then scattered down the hall to the 1-minute walk.
Yeah. And was your life always that way?
No, it wasn't. But once I got into really boarding school, it had to be.
Okay.
There was so much studying and so much work, and it was so much. It was so nice to be in a school that rewarded academic achievement.
Okay.
Instead of being in a school where it was frowned upon.
Tell me a little more what you're saying.
Okay,
So,
when I was at school in California, it was a very rural area, and maybe 20% of what would have been my graduating class went on to any college at all.
okay.
My boarding school here in Atlanta, 100% went to college.
Okay. So
You
it's just a higher level.
higher bar, and I wanted to jump over it.
Okay. So are you a little competitive?
I'm a little competitive.
Okay. So
Just
you
a little.
said the bar, and I got to jump over it.
Yes,
That's an awesome visual for a competitive person.
and I'm a very individualistic person. And the only sport I really played in high school was tennis because it was just me. I either win or lose.
Yeah.
And I like that. I'm not a team player, although I'm happy to be part of a team. It's just more of it's up to me.
Yeah. So your real estate business, it's you, right?
It's me. I have 2 virtual assistants. People never see them. They only know that they touch stuff, and I only pay them when I need them.
Yeah.
Everything else is me, and I've actually had clients ask me, do you have an assistant that we're going to be talking to, or do we talk to you? It's me every time.
Yeah, every time.
Here's my cell phone. Here's
Yeah.
my email. It's me every time. Check my email 4 times a day. Texting's the fastest. If you call me before 7, then that's set
Oh, yeah.
expectations immediately.
But that's part of the value proposition of working with you, right?
Yeah, you get me.
Yeah. And we've talked about it before, but it's kind of the real estate practice versus the real estate business of a team, right?
Correct. And there's nothing wrong with that at teams. It's a perfectly valid model. It's just not me.
Yeah.
I'm too individualistic.
Well, I think people fall in love with the values you bring to the table and who you are, and it's hard to deliver that as a value on a team level, right?
I can't. I certainly have many friends on teams that'd be great. It's just
Right,
not
it's
me.
just different people.
Yeah,
different
It's
people.
just not me. And part of it is when I was younger, I was a punk rocker, and it's very individualistic.
No. We got a timeout here. Tell me, what do you mean?
When I was growing up in rural Northern California, I could get a Los Angeles radio station, AM station that played punk and new wave.
Yeah.
I could only pick it up at night when it's literally bouncing off the satellites. And me and my friend Scott Blum discovered this music, and we fell in love with it. And then I moved to Atlanta, where I could actually go see bands. And
Yeah. So you didn't actually play. It was just the love.
just a love. But yeah, I mean, when I was at UGA, I had interesting hair color and wore a lot of black.
Yeah.
And hung out with some really cool people and made some really good
Yeah.
friends. And the music scene in the 80s in Athens was magical.
Oh, I'm sure.
So it was a great
Any
time.
big bands I would know?
Well, B-52s,
Oh yeah.
REM,
Okay. Okay.
Love Tractor,
Oh yeah.
Pylon,
Oh, yeah.
all of them.
All right. And this on AM radio in Northern California.
We would get occasionally. I mean, B-52s were already huge, but REM was just starting to hit. And then I had a cousin who was going to University of Georgia, and he would send me little cassettes that he had made from various local bands. So when I moved here, I already knew the music scene.
Yeah. The mixtape, right?
Yep.
The mixtape. Well, help me connect some dots here for everybody
Okay.
listening. So you have a really interesting, fun story, from punk rock kid in Northern California to boarding school to rigid schedule developing. I mean, the whole story is phenomenal. Yet, what are the principles you think you've learned along your journey that allowed you to thrive in the real estate business for 18 years, which is a feat in and of itself, much less survive pandemics, recessions, 9/11, and counterbalancing your family? Like, what are the principles? If you had maybe top two or three.
One is when you're working, work.
Okay.
Another one is when you're not working, don't work.
Okay.
And that's just you're either on or off.
You need to define it in your life.
Yes, and you need to have that focus that this is what I'm doing. This is and why I'm doing it. And then kind of the big why for me is my family.
Okay.
My wife and my kids, and then my friends who are like family.
Yeah.
And that's the reason for all of this.
Right.
And I'm funding a daughter going off to a gap year school in Norway this fall.
Okay.
And a son who's brilliant, but needs a little motivation. So
everybody's alone.
Yeah. So it's interesting. It's fun, and then my wife still loves teaching. So
So I'm hearing you say work when you're working and don't work when you're not working. Basically, define what that looks like in your life.
Yes.
What other principles do you think you bring to the table if you're just being introspective that you attribute your success to?
I'm fun to be around.
Okay.
I mean, I anyone who knows me personally knows that I can be very sarcastic, very smarty pants.
Yeah.
But I'm fun.
Yeah. So that attributes to success because people enjoy being around you.
Yes.
It's makes you influential or attractive, right?
I've got 500 close friends.
Yeah. Tell me how you pull that off someday. But anyway,
you just have to do it.
Yeah.
That's part of the focus.
I like it.
That's scrolling through your phone and going, I haven't talked to that person in a while.
Yeah.
And you say hello, and it's hello, how are you? That's it. That's the script. And then you just talk.
Yeah.
And if you get their voicemail, leave them a voicemail. And hey, I was just thinking about you.
Sounds so simple.
It is, but you have to have that focus.
Right. I was introduced to you as a foodie.
Yes.
And so I think that is a fun thing about you, if you will.
Yeah.
That may or may not have anything to do with real estate, but I think it's worthy of mentioning. What is that all about?
I cook a lot. I do most of the cooking at home, although my wife is a brilliant baker. And then I also like to try interesting and strange food.
Yeah.
Buford Highway is my jam. All the ethnic restaurants, all the interesting food. And then I can also do high-end gourmet stuff, or every now and then you just need some barbecue.
Yeah, I understand. So I think it's one thing that's interesting in real estate is we do have these personal lives and these personal interests, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes that becomes part of our personality and how we blend it with our real estate business, right?
Sure, of course.
Does it blend into your real estate business?
It's a natural blend because I am 100% authentic.
Right.
When I'm with my people, I'm on their side. They're my client, but I'm also fun and enjoyable. And if they want to talk food, let's talk food.
Yeah.
You want to go look at houses? Let's go look at houses. Want to go sell a house? Let's go sell a house.
Just part of your defining who you are, right?
Correct.
I like it. All right. So my last question, my favorite question, obviously, is if you were going to give a TED talk or write a book, what would your topic be?
It's a tough one because there's so many great topics, but it would probably involve food, probably a TED talk on all the various interesting restaurants in Metro Atlanta.
Okay.
And just going through and specific dishes and why this restaurant excels at this. And I would want to have a PowerPoint so I can have pictures of the dishes and to describe them and describe the people. And that's one of the best parts about eating these ethnic restaurants. It's just wonderful people.
So it's almost like some people have their pub crawls. You have your food crawl.
Correct. And it's funny because I will call like my favorite Peruvian restaurant and they recognize my phone number and they're like, Eric, hey.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you taking time out of your day today to share your story. Hopefully everybody got some nuggets out of your story and they apply it to their business. But Eric Benjamin, everybody.